Hey everybody. So sorry I missed last week. I was feeling pretty bad, pretty ill, and to be fair, I am still feeling pretty ill. Not as bad as it was last week. I actually managed to get out of bed this time. Anyway, we'll see. So I missed a bit of news stuff. I won't be going back over whatever happened last week. It was some Anthem shenanigans shit, and THQ decided to do an AMA on 8chan for some fucking stupid reason, but I'm sure you've already heard about that stuff. Anyway, we might as well get into it. Just get ourselves set up here. This one? I can never remember if I pressed the right button. Okay, I think I did. Ugh. Right, starting, still trying to keep a kind of formula for this, so we'll start with game announcements. So Solar Ash Kingdom was announced this week by Heart Machine. So Heart Machine are responsible for Hyper Light Drifter, which is a very, very good 16-bit or 8-bit game that I wish I was better at, but I'm not. I'm kind of shit at it, but I'm glad to see that they have a new game in the works. I haven't seen this trailer yet, so you'll be watching it with me same time. Let's turn on desktop. They're going for more of a low poly look. This might be a bit loud. Ugh, I don't like that last bit. Epic Games. Oh, thank you, please. Go away. So, Solar Ash Kingdom. It looks like it's just like a 3D version of Hyper Light Drifter. So, sounds good to me. Obviously, not a whole lot of gameplay there, but I think you can get the gist. It definitely has Hyper Light Drifter's aesthetic, even if it's not, the what do you call it? Pixel style graphics. Anyway, Stardew Valley is released for Android. Came out on Thursday. It's $7.99. It's €8.99, I think. For Ireland, I have no idea what it is in pounds. But it's basically just Stardew Valley on Android. A couple of different things they've changed in that you can tap the screen to have your character move, and if you tap interacts on vegetables or rocks or wood or whatever, it will just auto swap to the correct tool and do whatever it is it's supposed to do for you. So useful. I own Stardew Valley on 2 separate platforms now. I don't know if I'll get it on a third. I might though. I don't know. I am looking for some a decent mobile game to play because I have 0, so that might be fun. But yeah, it's available. You can apparently transfer things from the PC version, which I do not own. I own the PlayStation and Switch versions. But apparently you can transfer PC data if you like, but obviously the mods will not carry over. So if you have any mods for it, you'll have to disable them, make a new save, and then transfer that save, I would think. Dwarf Fortress is coming to Steam. Okay, so some people may not be aware of Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is a very, very old deep simulation game. Basically, you are in charge of a fortress of dwarves who do various things going about their daily lives, and there are like millions of interactions. And it was always a command line kind of text-based game. But now it has actual graphics. this. I mean, it's not a huge change. Oh, it's kind of like, it is, I suppose, a huge change. They're just changing out what would have been, you know, what the fuck, YouTube? You know, this is a dwarf, and this is the road, and this is grass, and this is a table kind of thing, you know. Very lo-fi, but they've changed it up so that it has actual graphics and, you know, graphical assets, things like that. Not like, it's not a huge change or anything. It's still, you know, fairly basic. But the reason they've added it basically is, one, they want more people to play the game, and they know that the text lo-fi approach is definitely not for everybody. But another big one is due to rising healthcare costs. So basically, one of the developers and their family have contracted cancer, and they can't exactly afford to be continuing to work on this game for free. Dwarf Fortress was a free game, so they've put it on, or will be putting it on Steam store for monies. It's kind of a sucky reason to do it, and, you know, I mean, Valve and Kid Fox will be taking a cut of that as well. So, you know, they're not even getting the full dollar. You know, they're only getting like half of it. It's not great, but Dwarf Fortress is a really, really interesting game. I played it a lot in college, and I haven't really gone back to it, but I think I will. I think I will check this out when it actually does end up on Steam. Because the game kind of sort of plays itself, so it's interesting. Anyway, no release date mentioned. Just it's coming. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT gets a free version this week. Yesterday, I think it came out. That would have been Friday. So the free version is you get 4 characters, and they rotate every week. So there's a roster of about 20, I think it's there somewhere, 25 characters. So it'll rotate them out. Every week you'll get a new 4, or a different 4, maybe, I guess. Maybe they keep some of them, who knows. But it's free. You get access to the offline and online modes. You do not get access to the campaign. And you do have the option to buy things, you know, piecemeal. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. You'll end up spending so much money on the game. I think you can look at this as a way to just you can look at it as a way to just check out the game as a demo. The demo itself was kind of limited, but this would be like a full game, and you could play it over a couple of weeks just to get an idea of how it feels, how it plays. That's still very loud. Anyway, it's free on PC. Sorry, it's free on Steam, and it's free on PS4. But obviously it's limited because there's only 4 characters. You don't get a choice of what the 4 characters are. They rotate every week. I don't think you have access to all of the weapons, all of the costumes, all of the locations, battle arenas and things like that. And obviously no campaign. So yeah, you can buy the stuff if you want, but don't do that. If you like the game, just buy the game. I mean, it's on sale every now and then as well, so. I played a bit of the demo when it came out, and I kind of found it a bit confusing. And kind of hard to get my head around. I don't know. I've still been waiting on it to get the kind of complete edition, and for that to go down a bit on price. I might check out the free version though. I don't know. Oh boy, that is a fucking spoiler. Good job, YouTube. Right. This is incognito mode as well, so we shouldn't have even known any of that stuff. Fuck's sake. Be very careful. Oh god, gotta be very careful about that in the future. Apologies to anyone who has been spoiled on that now. I won't say what it was. Anyway, Left 4 Dead Studio Turtle Rock has announced Back 4 Blood, which is not a battle royale. Very quick to say that it was not a battle royale. I should turn off desktop audio. PC and PS4. Okay, so Turtle Rock, if you're not familiar, are the developers behind Left 4 Dead. It's the 4-player co-op zombie survival shooter thing that was very, very popular back in the day and is still kind of somewhat popular. They moved from Valve to 2K to build Evolve, which was a 4-player versus monster multiplayer game in that 5 players would play in the arena, 4 of them would be hunters, and 1 of them would be an evolved monster kind of thing, which was a really interesting idea, but they just fucked up their DLC plans and lost a lot of players, and even changing it to a kind of free-to-play, more player-friendly, consumer-friendly, it just never went anywhere. And we were kind of assumed that was the end of Turtle Rock, to be honest, but they're back. And they're partnering with Warner Brothers Interactive. Oh, God. I mean, are they better than 2K? Maybe, but not really. Anyway, Back 4 Blood will be going back to their roots. Premium AAA title. The inclusion of microtransactions is set in stone, but Warner Brothers is involved, so it will definitely be happening. To be clear, it's not going to be a Battle Royale, but will feature PvP and a campaign. I don't know. Is it going to be a 4-player thing? I don't know. The fact that it has Back 4 Blood would suggest that probably it is going to be some kind of 4-player thing. Gearbox teases Borderlands 3 reveal at PAX East, so there isn't a whole lot to the tease. It's just this image. And maybe it's happening. Who knows? Probably. Gearbox are also planning on revealing some other titles as well. Twitter was taking a million years to load, so that's why I blew up the image a little bit. But yeah, this looks very Borderlands, probably Borderlands 3. I don't know. Probably. Okay. Industry news. So Jade Raymond has joined Google, formerly from Ubisoft, for Assassin's Creed and a bit of Prince of Persia. And then she joined EA Motive for the Star Wars stuff, but then EA shit the bed on Star Wars, so she left, and now she's with Google. Weird. She'll be joining as a vice president, or the vice president, I guess. Doesn't suggest. I would assume there'd be multiple vice presidents, but maybe not. I don't know. I would assume Google's a big company that would need multiple. Anyway, she's joining Google as VP in an undisclosed role, but VP of something, I guess. VP of gaming, more than likely, because Google will be joined by id Software and Ubisoft at GDC 2019. So GDC is the Game Developers Conference. That's next week. Google are giving a keynote, which is kind of weird because Google don't really have a toe in the gaming space. But there have been rumors that Google are either going to announce a streaming service for games or a console of their own. I would think it's probably going to be a cloud-based streaming thing, since they had been doing some experimentation with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, streaming that in Japanese territories, and it was working out pretty well, the kind of cloud-based version of the game. Obviously, your internet speed will require, significant grunt to be able to play these kind of games at any kind of realistic frame rate. But we'll find out soon, March 19th. That's Tuesday, I think. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to be joined by id Software, guys who do Doom, and Ubisoft, the guys who do Assassin's Creed and Prince of Persia, if they ever get back to it, but they probably won't. As well as the Far Cry and all that jazz. You know who Ubisoft are. Anyway, that'll be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what Google are doing. I would like to see them do their cloud-based thing, but at the same time, Google have a habit of ditching their products. Just whatever. I'm bored now, and I don't want to do it anymore. Google Allo, their messenger, is gone. Google Hangouts is disappearing soon. Google Plus will be gone in April. What else have they ditched? Google Fiber, their internet thing, is disappearing in certain cities in the US. Then there were plenty of other, missteps on there, but Google Buzz, Google Wave, Inbox is gone, Google Reader is gone. They don't have staying power. They kind of stick with their one thing, search, which does, obviously makes them mega bucks. But it seems once they feel that they're not on top, like Google Plus, Google Buzz, and Google Wave were all attempts at social media, and obviously Facebook and Twitter have kind of blown them out of the water. So they didn't bother with it. Google Hangouts, people don't use it. really all that much. Businesses kind of do. Google Allo was a really nice messenger, but again, people were stuck with WhatsApp and various other things, so they wouldn't be using that. What are the others I mentioned? Google Fiber, I don't know. Probably it just doesn't make them enough money. But yeah, Google just don't stick with their stuff, so I'd be a little bit apprehensive about what they're doing. If it just pulls the technology forward and allows like Sony or Microsoft or whoever to just either license out or patent, or not, they wouldn't be able to patent it, but license out the technology to kind of make their own cloud services a little bit better, or even if they just host servers for those companies, I don't know. Right, industry shitty news. So Sega pulls Judgment, which is a new kind of Yakuza kind of game type thing. Even it's not in the same universe, but it's a similar kind of looking game, from sale and delete tweets about yeah. So Pierre Taki, who plays a Yakuza in Judgment, was arrested earlier this week on drug charges. Cocaine was found in his system. Now, in other parts of the world, this isn't necessarily a big deal. I mean, it's still an illicit substance, but in Japan, they have zero tolerance for illicit drugs. So this is bad news for him. Very, very bad news for him, actually. But yeah, they've pulled Judgment from sale. They'll probably have to re-record voices and issue either a patch. God, would they have to reprint discs as well? I don't know. It's a big deal anyway, and it's obviously going to delay. It'll delay its release in the West because they'll be focusing on fixing this first, I would think. Yeah, but like Japan have like very serious zero tolerance for all those on drugs and guns as well. Same. But in addition to that, Square Enix are also removing the voice of Olaf from Kingdom Hearts 3 because he's the same actor. Excuse me, I'm still not well. Pierre Taki voices Olaf in God damn it, phone. Pierre Taki voices Olaf in Kingdom Hearts 3 in Japan, so Square Enix will be releasing a patch to replace his voice at some point. And I can't remember where the store where I read it, but I think Disney themselves are replacing him for Frozen 2. Was it in this? Yeah, it's in this. Disney is looking to replace him for the voice of Olaf in the actual film, in the Frozen 2 film as well. So bad news for him. Just little, and he's fucked up his whole career. Anyway, continuing with industry shitty news. Original XCOM creator faces backlash after signing Epic Games Store exclusive deal for Phoenix Point. Phoenix Point was a FIG-backed, so if you're not familiar, FIG is a kind of Kickstarter type deal, but there's also room for investment in the product as well, so you're not just giving them money, you're also buying stock, sort of, in the product as well. It's optional. Not everybody who invests on FIG not everyone who backs on FIG will necessarily be an investor. Anyway, so yeah, they're getting backlash because they've, suddenly decided that they're going to be exclusive to the Epic Store for a year. So people who have backed and people who have invested are like, the fuck, you didn't even run this by us. They're not happy. There was an AMA that did not go down well. There's a couple of quotes here that are just like, they feel shafted, like they took the money just to make themselves look more appealing and then took outside investment without consultation or anything like that. I mean, yes, that's true, but also like the Kickstarter thing, FIG and all those kind of things, it's like you're not actually an investor, or you're such a small fry that they don't really need to pay attention to you. I mean, the more backers you get, great, because there's more money, but at the same time it's diluting your bargaining power with the developer. I mean, if it was a sole investor, like think of it this way, if there was one person paying for the whole game, you'd more or less have to do what they say, right? Otherwise they wouldn't pay you, you wouldn't get paid, you wouldn't be able to pay your rent, etc. 2 people, now you have to listen to 2 people, and if they give you conflicting things, you're like, I don't know. 10,000 people and they're giving you, you're like, whatever, I don't care, I'm just going to do the thing. And they've offered refunds for people who are mad, but at the same time they've gotten their money at this point and they're getting investment from Epic Games to be exclusive, so they don't need the backers anymore. Is basically what I'm saying here, and they feel shafted about it. Jim Sterling did a good video this week. I think it was this week's video, his Jimquisition, about the Epic Games Store, and it was mostly focused on Steam and Valve and how Steam has gotten complacent and it's just shitty for developers and users, to be honest. But it does touch on the whole Epic Games Store's attack attempts to be competitive and this exclusivity stuff. You should give it a watch. It's interesting. Anyway, last shitty news, because EA paid Ninja $1 million to promote Apex Legends. Why? I'm gonna scroll past this because I don't like Ninja's face. I just don't like his face in that. I don't. Whatever. Anyway, pay your fucking developers. What are you doing? $1 million. It wasn't even needed. It's just ridiculous. I mean, okay, paying somebody that much money to play your game just reeks of conflict of interest. Like, how can you possibly take their opinion seriously when they're given that much money to stream it? Of course they're going to say good things. Now, it turns out Apex Legends is a good game anyway, so I've heard. I don't like those kind of games, but I've heard from people who do like those kind of games that it's a good game, so I will take their word for it. Like, EA shuttered the studio 2 weeks ago, and they have $1 million to just throw at an influencer. It's like, you gotta get that union working. Anyway, where was I? Camera. Anyway, that's the news for this week. So, what was that about? Channel news. So I was talking about my games of February and what the games of March would be, and Left Alive came up that it wasn't getting a lot of press, it wasn't getting review code and things like that. Turns out game not good. I've seen a few live streams of it and I've seen a few reviews for it, and it's just a big mess. So I won't be touching it. It won't be appearing in games of March. DMC5 is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I've managed to complete a run of it because I wanted to get through it. I kind of wanted to get through the story campaign fast, so by the time my Games of March video came around, I'd be able to give you a decent impression of it. My impression of it is very good, but I am definitely going to be continuing to play it. There are higher difficulty levels that I want to give a try at, because you don't really get the full enjoyment out of the combo system until you have enemies that have a decent amount of health, because they die too fast. But that's very good. Kingdom Hearts 3 finally came out in January, but I'm finally getting around to almost finishing it. I am very close to the end of the game now. I thought I'd finish it last night, but it went on a little bit longer than I was expecting. But I think I'm like at the last boss, so that should be wrapping up. My plan is to try to get through Metro Exodus before Sekiro comes out on Friday. That's the plan. Anyway. Streams later today, probably not. You can hear like the cough and the cold. I'm just bunged up. Probably not today. Maybe tomorrow if I'm feeling better about it. Monday is a bank holiday here. It's St. Patrick's Day. Go Paddy. So I might do a stream Sunday night since I don't have to be in work on Monday. Obviously check Twitter for that, because I usually announce the stream beforehand. I didn't announce the stream this time because I just fucking forgot to tweet it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully see you at the stream tomorrow evening. If not, I am planning to try to get some streams in during the week, because I don't like having it coming out the weekend and then I'm tired on the weekend or I'm sick or whatever, and then it just doesn't happen. So I'm going to try to add more slots for streams, basically. There won't necessarily will be more streams, but more opportunities for me to do it, so I don't have situations where I'm sick or I'm tired or whatever. Anyway, that's the plan. I'll see you later.